everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to this week's Ponderous Wednesday. And if you are new to the channel, Ponderous Wednesdays are where we take a thought-provoking, interesting topic and have a good old ramble about it. And this week we are going to be talking about fractional gold and fractional silver. We've got a whole bunch of fractional silver there and some fractional gold on the table to salivate over as we go through and talk. Now, fractional gold and silver has a whole bunch of pluses and negatives, as most kind of coins and kind of bullion investments have. But it's one which is quite understated, I think. There's a lot of pitfalls in investing in fractional silver. There's a lot of pluses for it. So we're going to present both sides of the coin, so to speak, today and have a good old think about it. Now, I'm not giving financial advice here. I'm just highlighting some of the observations which I've noticed over my time as a stacker and investor, and any financial decisions you make having watched this video are yours and yours alone. I'm not really here to tell you what you should or should not do with your money, but there are some interesting things to think about, which is the whole purpose of this video. So do share your own thoughts down in the comment section as we go throughout the video. Now, I was inspired to make this video for a few reasons. First of all, I've recently just finished my Australian 1/20th ounce gold lunar set with the last year of the pig coin. And it's one of the very first series that I started collecting because of this very simple reason. I wanted to get some gold, but I didn't want to outlay a huge sum of money to buy a large denomination piece of gold, like a 1 ounce gold coin, or even 1/4 ounce gold coins. You know, collecting one of those every kind of month or year or whatever it is a significant investment. Certainly for somebody who's very fledgling into the world of gold and silver. Obviously things have changed quite significantly in terms of our strategy going forward. But at the time, I wanted some gold, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money, which is exactly the purpose of fractional gold and silver. You can buy these things for a lot less. You know, these little 20th ounce gold coins were probably about, I think it's about £60 per coin, which is fine. You can get away with that. It's not budget busting. It's not going to break the bank, and you can enjoy the coins. You can enjoy the designs in the collection. That was kind of what we were thinking about. But when you look at it in a little bit more detail, the premiums that related to that, and this is, I guess, the crux of the matter here, it all comes down to premiums. They're pretty big, let's be honest. Now, we're going to talk about a little bit about the backdating that we did on some of these here. Now, these three particular ones were the most valuable of the set, and we backdated the mouse, the tiger, and the ox. And these, we're talking like 600–700% premiums on some of these coins relative to the value in gold. So, you know, these are very much collectors' coins as opposed to investing in bullion. So if you are going to be investing in you want just bullion investments, then my suggestion to you is don't go fractional unless you know exactly what you're doing, or unless you can get fractional gold at very close to spot price. Don't go for this kind of fractional gold because it will have a huge premium, and we are now slaves to the premiums of these particular coins. If we want to get our money back, if we want to release the equity that's in these coins, we have to find a buyer that will be willing to pay the premiums that come on top of them. And that is, in a nutshell, the major issue with buying fractional gold. And I've recently had a bunch of fractional gold come through my books, and I thought I'd share it with you guys here today before it goes off to its new owners. And you know, this is the kind of type of thing that you can get in the world of fractional gold. You can get these 20th ounce gold coins. You can also buy 1 gram gold bars. You can buy different kind of like this configurations of the 1 gram gold bars. They even come, as you can see here, in the 1 ounce version. Sorry, 1 gram version, just in its own assay card. Now, there's a few things that I want to just highlight about these type of gold investments. First of all, the premiums on these are just as high, even though they are, you know, you find 5 grams of gold here or 10 grams of gold here. You know, 10 grams of gold is 1/3 of an ounce. So you'd think, oh, well, okay, the premium on these is going to be significantly lower. Often, for still these little grams of gold, they are actually still pretty high premiums. If you go looking at, you know, bullion dealers that are selling these, they'll be selling them at, I mean, the spot price at the moment is about £32 a gram. They were selling these for about £38–39 a gram. Maybe second-hand market, £37 a gram, something like that. So there's still a significant markup. And whilst £5 per gram doesn't sound like an awful lot, when you equate that up into the spot price value, that is a significant amount. So it is arguably better to buy something like this, the Heraeus multi-disc, where you can get you know, slightly better price than buying just, say, one of these little 1 gram bars on their own. The Pan Fortuna bars here, they're about £45 a gram brand new. So, you know, that is a significant premium. And the ultimate problem is, and it's highlighted by I guess, this here, is that when you come to sell these little grams of gold, dealers will likely just give you spot price for them. So it's as with all types of things. If you're buying something which has got a premium, if it's a smaller item that it's got a premium, it will probably just get spot value from dealers. So if you want a quick sale, again, it's all about convenience, and this is something that a lot of people forget about. You know, they think, oh, one of the rationalizations I put on and at the start anyway is, oh, you know what, well, I've paid that much for it, so there must be somebody else out there who's going to be willing to pay for that much for something. And whilst that is definitely true, it's not always practical. It sometimes takes an awful long time to find the buyers that you will need to release the full equity of these types of items. You know, fractional gold has got its kind of following, it's got a market, and we'll talk a little bit about that now. You know, there is, of course, some benefits to having the fractional gold in terms of monetary protection for the future. If there was a situation where there was hyperinflation, of course, having smaller denominations of gold really does help in terms of being able to use that gold to purchase things. You know, if you rock up into your local store with a 1 ounce gold coin, nobody's ever going to give you change. You're not going to be able to buy all your groceries with that. Whereas if you rock up with something like this multi-disc, you know, this is specifically designed for that. You've got 10 of them in here, and you see here there's like a little seal that you can break, and you can rotate it around, and you can get one of the grams out and pass it on and use it as a currency. And that's definitely, you know, something for some people to consider. It's not what I consider as a relevant thing for gold and silver in the future. If there was a situation like that, I really do think there'd be, you know, there'd be sort of a Walking Dead apocalypse or something horrible that's happened to the world, and you know, ultimately, I don't think that me or Mrs. Backyard Bullion would be around to survive and to use the little fractional gold pieces to go down to the shops and buy that. And I'm not a fan of that kind of genre of thinking, and I don't ever really want that to happen. So, yeah, there's a lot of sort of skepticism in that side of things. So if you are into that and you're down with that, that's fine. But bear in mind that if it doesn't happen, there's a good chance that you're going to be stuck with high premium pieces of gold and silver. You know, silver also plays into that as well. And we bought a bunch of these fractional pieces of silver. We throw them around the room as well, because we don't really mind about them. These are just, what we actually use these for are games, board games. We use them for fun counters in board games. Mrs. Backyard Bullion and our friends, we play quite a lot of board games, and it's really satisfying to have something physical in your hand that you can use. So I guess in certain ways we're already using these as currency to buy things within board games, but you know, it's a bit of fun for us. They were high premium. We enjoy them, and if you enjoy them too, then that's something that you should always factor in. Now, there are, of course, ways that you can still invest in fractional gold that are less risky. First of all, is just keep a watchful eye out on the secondary market. You know, I am trying to diversify a little bit within my own kind of business. You know, we've got the Backyard Bullion hand pulled silver business. It's no secret as well that I buy and sell various coins and things down the line as well. And we are exploring and looking at the kind of basically bullion side of things, and just buying a little bit of second-hand stuff. What I'd like to do at some point in the future is have a kind of, basically what I would like to call my 2% catalogue. So I'd build up a certain amount of gold and I'd have available at any time for 2% over, and I'd also have a kind of buyback service within a certain kind of budgets and remits where I'd buy, you know, like a dealer would at 98, 99% of spot. So there's a small little profit margin in there, and it's all about the convenience of being able to pick and choose when and who you want to sell to. So there's definitely an element of that in my thinking. And, you know, these little 1 gram bars, they came up at an opportunity on the forum, which, you know, was basically too good to sort of pass up, and there's a bit of profit to be made in these. So that's kind of where I was thinking with them. You know, they are definitely, if you pick these up for spot price, there's definitely profit to be made with them, because we've been selling a couple of these on eBay, just as a bit of an experiment really, to see what the kind of price points would be for an eBay auction. And it seems like the price points for these on an eBay auction are settling anywhere between £45 and £50 per bar, which is pretty impressive really. If you manage to pay spot around £32, £33 per gram for them, then you are golden, literally golden, because you can be making £10 per gram profit, which is actually really very good indeed. So there's definitely a market in it. However, that kind of thing doesn't come up very often, and it's not going to be very common that you are able to buy a lot of fractional gold. So there is one other element to think about, and that is the sovereigns. So sovereigns are probably the single best way of collecting fractional gold. Half sovereigns, maybe a little bit more premium over the spot price, but not drastically, certainly nowhere near the kind of gram bars. Sovereigns, of course, much more well-renowned and recognised out there. So I don't really like giving advice, but my advice to you is if you are interested in getting hold of fractional gold, then don't buy 1 gram bars like these. Another thing is you can't always know that these are always true. If you crack these open to try and test these, you're almost kind of devaluing a little bit about the whole purpose of them, because they're in that assay card. They're meant to be guaranteed, but you know there are fakes, and it's getting harder to fake them with things like the very scan that we've got on the back of the pumps, and various things like that. But there are fakes out there, and unless you really know your stuff, it can be quite tricky. However, with sovereigns, there's a huge sovereign market. You know, there's no doubt that sovereigns will always have that kind of demand, and they are fractional. At the end of the day, they're about 0.23 or 0.24 of an ounce, so they're a little higher, a little bigger obviously than a gram of gold. And my advice to you is, if you've got a bit of a hankering for some fractional gold and you wanted to get it, and you were thinking about getting some of these, 1 a month, save up for 3 or 4 months and buy a sovereign instead, because you'll get much better protection out of it at the other end. You'll be able to sell this a lot easier and quicker, get a lot better price for it as well, and happy days basically. So that's my thoughts. Fractional, go with sovereigns. And fractional silver is really just a bit of a novelty. It's basically the nuts and bolts of it. The smaller the item, basically the higher unit cost per item it is to make. So of course it's going to be more expensive down the line. So it's one of those things where, unless you really want it for something that's personal, that's something that's fun for you, there's, in my opinion, not a great market for fractional silver at a premium. However, if you can get fractional silver at spot prices, then happy days basically. You're golden, because anything that's fractional will garner a higher premium when you come to sell it on the second-hand market. So I don't know, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section on your opinions on fractional gold, whether you have some fractional gold, whether it forms part of your strategy. Do you buy fractional gold for a specific reason? I'd love to know. Please do comment down below. If you disagree with my opinions on today's topic, then please share them as well. I'd love to know them and hear your discussions about them. It's the whole purpose of making these videos, so please do feel free to comment down below. Now, last thing I want to finish on is Mrs. Backyard Bullion is waiting in the wings. We're about to go and finish up the packaging of all of these 1 ounce bars. We're about halfway through. There are only 20, I think it's like 22 left at the moment. So if you are still interested in them, you can still purchase them. The available numbers are listed over on my website. There's a link down in the description below. Proceeds help support the Silver Forum, who are a sponsor of my channel. You may have seen that at the start of the video. So head on over to the forum if you would like to purchase these at the best possible price. We can offer discounts for paid members of the forum. So jump on over there. But we've got another good day's worth of work there to package up all of the rest of these bars. Anyway, that is about it for today. Thank you all for watching. If, by the way, you'd like to see some of these gold bars in a lot more detail, we're going to get them up close to the camera. We're also going to talk a little bit more about the actual brands themselves. Then we will be featuring these in this week's In Focus Friday. So make sure you stick around, and if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, and then you can get a notification when I upload the videos if you hit that little alarm bell as well. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic week, and as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.